Hi, so let's continue on our discussions on the meditation matrix books. So last time we talked about the core or the soul of artificial intelligence is the machine learning, and there are many types of machine learning, okay? And human is core in the calmness, and then if we develop the calmness, then we arrive at a higher awareness, and using the higher calmness and awareness, you study something, and then you will get the insight or the intuitive. Okay, so humans' strength is in the intuitive. Now, so we got friend who messaged me, asked me, can I share more on this case on the human intuitive and the or intuitions or insight compared with the AI core. So okay, so AI is based on logic and math. Okay, so artificial intelligence, machine learning is based on logic and math. It is lack of intuitions. Okay, intuitions, okay, is a direct perceptions of a truth, a direct perception of the truth, independent of any reasoning process. That's intuitive, that's insight. Okay, so it is the truth of illogic, making it incredibly hard to analyze. So you see, okay, in one side the AI is based on logic and math. On the human side, it is based on this intuitive. Okay, it is the truth of illogic, make it incredibly hard to analyze. Okay, however, if we want to develop the intuitive or insight, we have to go through develop our humans core or soul, which is the calmness, arrive at the higher awareness, and then we use that to study something, and then we got the intuitive or the insight. Okay, now intuitions is a direct perceptions of truth, independent of any reasoning process. That's human intuitive or intuitions. Okay, human intuition is that, or the insight. Okay, now, so humans are good at intuition. Okay, humans have insight. So as we can see that the most intuitive people usually have a significant advantage over those who doesn't have the intuitive. Okay, so the people among us who have the insight, intuitions, have a significant advantage over those who doesn't have it. So how is it? By example? Well, for example, say the people who is expert in their field, you know, like I'm living in Silicon Valley, they are design engineer who is expert in their field, working years and years, okay, having this calmness and awareness and study the electronic design, and they develop, or they gain the intuitions or the in-depth or the insight of the subject. And those type of engineer, they are as called in the Silicon Valley is the guru. Okay, and they can create new stuff, innovative, create new stuff. It's not just like, you know, you synthesize 2-3 things, mix 2-3 things. No, they can create new invention and new paradigm. Okay, so that is the intuitions and the insight. Okay, as the Buddha is teaching the insight meditation, those kind of stuff. Right now, in here we have to be careful now. we really have to be careful. Our human educations up to now, up to this point, at least in the past few decades, is not into develop intuitions or insight. I still remember when I went to my university, Wisconsin at Superior, okay? My math teacher, the first calculus class math teacher told me, he said, you know, these days people just want to learn a lot of things, gather a lot of things, but do not sit down and then really master the key of the fundamentals. At that time, my professor told me that, okay? And right now, if you look at like, you know, I usually get in touch with a lot of young engineers and so forth. You can see that people want to work on certain thing for 6 months, and then they get bored, they want to work on the next thing, you know, and so forth. And of course, working on new stuff, you know, is like you have a higher salary and something like that. But it is no longer like the older generations where we work on one thing for 5-6 years, you know, just doing the same thing and still stay really don't know much. But suddenly, maybe perhaps at the 7 years or the 8 years, suddenly he have this insight, he has this model in his mind, and then he starts to see circuits. Okay, so that is gaining the insight. Now, if we talk about the AI, you know, like a human job versus AI, well, AI, artificial intelligence, can learn that very fast, get all the knowledge, gather all the data, and so forth. Human is no way can compete with that. But with this insight, okay, which is the intuition, is a direct perception of truth. It is illogic, okay. AI have a difficulties to get there, and that is the core of the human, the value of the human. Now, going downward, if our education system do not train us to have or to go into the directions of develop the intuitions or the insight, well, you can predict what happened. Okay, meaning that human will get obsolete by the AI because human do not develop the human strength, do not take advantage of the human strength. Okay, so education system has to change. Okay, you have to have this, as my professor, no, this is about 30 years ago, tell me, he said, these days people don't sit down as at his time to work on the problem, to slowly digest it, because everybody just want to keep getting more and more informations, and there's so much informations. So after one semester, one know everything, but one really don't know anything. Okay, so that is about this human intuitions and the artificial intelligence one. If you have questions, just message me in Facebook, Hendrik Santo, or write message in the Google or the YouTube. You know, if I know, I will share. If I don't, you know, we can get into doing research on it and so forth. Okay. Now, this book, I want to mention that this book, why is it different? This book is written that it is not a book. Okay, it is written that it is book plus many exercise that one can play with, one can experiment with. Okay, so you are going to learn by doing and experiencing, okay, in this book. So it's like what? It's like a baby, right? When we are a baby and we just say, oh, this is my fingers. Okay, I just go play with it. So then I know this is you know, this is the fingers and so forth. Okay. So in the book, one read a chapter, and then within the chapter there is practice, exercise that one can play with it. There's nothing right or wrong. It's just like the baby analogy. Okay, you play with the hand so you know what it is. Okay, and that way the experience get embedded in you, so that you don't forget it. Once you know it, it's like the baby. Once you know the fingers, it never forget this finger. In fact, it's gonna use this finger. Okay, so that's what it need. This book is intended for. It's not just you read it. Okay, and as we know, okay, reading alone doesn't buy you much long-term retention. Okay, you can read the book second time, third time, fourth time. No, I just talking to a few friends in the weekend on this book, because they got the book, they read a few times and so forth. So unless one just go read the chapter, do the exercise, play with it. Don't have expectation. No, it's just like the baby with the fingers and the toes. You know, you play with it, then you know. Okay, and actually with this book, because it has this model, which is the 4-layer model. Okay, this is, we use the 4-layer model to model human beings. Okay, once one go through the books, chapter 4 until chapter 7, if one go through that, chapter 4 until chapter 7, if one really go through that, you know, play with it, whatever instruction there, it is like implant sensors, 4 sensors in our body and mind. We know. So it's like the baby who play with their fingers and toes. Now they know, okay, how I can use these fingers and toes. Okay, so that's the notion. Okay, so that's about this book. And again, is for this book, even though it is meditations, okay, that many people can interpret meditation different way, this book is a technology book. Okay, it is not about belief. You don't have to believe it, as like you have this antibiotics. You don't have to believe in the antibiotic. You just take it. Okay, it's like these fingers, that baby have these fingers. You don't have to believe this finger, you just learn how to use it, then you know how to use it. Okay, and this book is about daily use. It doesn't matter that, you know, like the 3 market I talked last time, the market of we want to handle our daily stress, we want to calm down, more focus, have more EQ, or we want to help our health, getting better health. Okay, or we want to go spiritual. This book is targeted at that people can use it in these 3 markets. Okay, living in here, use it in this daily life instead of living in certain type of reality. Okay, so this book has to be pragmatic because it's a technology. And then also it is about quality and repeatability. Okay, be able to have a quality and repeatable result when one do meditations. Okay, it's not guessing. Okay, so because of that, in order to get there, as I mentioned in the last video, you need to have this process modeling. Okay, so you have this model, this 3 models I'm talking about, which is the calmness awareness map, and the 4-layer models, and the mind layer model, which today I want to give you a view on it, okay, so you know what it is. And then also there is quantizations. Yes, we need to put number in things. If we don't put number in things, how can we repeat things? How can we do things scientifically? How can we test it? How can we know? We don't, okay? Because if we don't quantize things, it's like, what do you mean? You might mean A, you might mean A when you say A, but A for me might mean X or Y or Z. Okay, so we need to quantize that thing. It cannot be just fuzzy and very confusion. Okay, so first I want to share with you guys on this thing. Okay, now you know that the first tools is the calmness and awareness map. Okay, the second tools is the 4-layer model. Okay, so we need this model is because we want to have the very simple way of understand human beings, humans' body, mind, and energy, so that we know how to handle them. Okay, we just cannot, I think so, in my thought, I believe you want to have this, so at least you can handle it. And it is lucky enough that our human ancestor for thousands of years, like the Chinese, have all this document, this what I call big data, so that now we can model this. Okay, we can model this, and we can know that at every layer, okay, at every layer, like the physical, the mind, the breathing, and the chi, prana, or now we call it energy, neuro. Every one of them actually have its characteristics. Okay, meaning that the characteristics of a physical body and the characteristics of the mind is different. Okay, the breathing and the chi or prana is different. They have different characteristics. Not only it had different characteristics, it had different state. So there are different states within each layer. Okay, and then so at meditation there are states. There are 2 states need to be handled. Okay, in meditations. So namely, one state is called intentionally regulate. Another state is called the natural resonance state. So what that means is like if this is a pendulum, you pull the bulb, you displace the bulb here. Okay, that is called intentionally regulate, and then you release it. It naturally resonate or oscillate. That is the natural oscillate state. And in meditations, at every layer, okay, of the 4 layer, be it the physical, the mind, the breathing, the chi, prana, or the energy neuro, everyone have this 2 state. So at one point, one regulated. It's just like the pendulum analogy. Okay, you regulate it, you pull the bulb, and then you release it and you leave it alone, so that it go by its own resonance, okay, or oscillations. Okay, so all of this need to be known. That's why chapter 4 until chapter 7 I go through that in details, every one of them. Okay, the details and so forth. Now, and so speaking on the this map, okay, so let's go through this first. So the second tools is this 4-layer models. Now, one thing is really extremely important is in the mind layer, there is one mind layer model which consists of 4 basic mind functions which one need to know how to handle if one want to perform meditations or daily life using the brain or using the mind. And namely, there is the thinking, imaginations, attention, and awareness. They are different. They are different. So we need to know, when are we going to evoke thinking? When are we going to evoke imagination? When are we going to evoke attention? When are we going to evoke awareness? And how to evoke it? Okay, if we want attention, we don't want to evoke thinking, because they're wrong thing. Okay, wrong function. Now, also there is intensity of that. Like if we want to pay attention to something, okay, there is an intensity control. You don't want to be like in the Chinese Kung Fu movie. Now the guy in the movie, the old teacher, guru, teach the student who practice Kung Fu, saying that you have to have total concentration. Well, you got a problem there. Why? Because when you have a total concentration, meaning that you have a really high attention, a high intensity of attention, you know what that turn into? Tunnel vision. Okay? That turn into tunnel vision. So that is movie, total concentration. In fact, what you want is using the adequate attention to evoke the awareness. Once the awareness is evoked, if you do not get into this thinking, imaginations, then you have all the focus. Okay, you're attentive. It's just like when you drive a car. You don't say, I want to have a total concentration, so I'm going to watch whatever car out there. You don't. You just don't think. You know, even you think, you don't go too far or daydream. You just pay slight attention, not really heavy attention, because they make you tired and stressed and so forth. Some attention, you can relax. And you're aware of everything. You're aware of the cars and everything. Okay? So one need to know this 4-layer models and the mind layer models and the 4 function. Which one to evoke that? Which one we want to evoke that. So like for example, thinking. Well, if I want to do a calculation there, 55 multiplied by 65 with my mind, then there is thinking. Okay. If I want to imagine that I'm going to paint my wall, this wall, into a pink, I can imagine that. There are different functions. Okay? And then pay attention. There's a different stuff. You pay attention to something and how strong you want to pay attention, right? And then awareness is aware of the environment. Aware is not thinking. When you think, if you think too deep inside there, you don't aware anymore. Because you like when we do the calculations of 55 multiplied by say 65. When we do the calculation, we like getting into a room. And you don't aware of whatever outside anymore, because you're thinking that your mind is functioning that. Okay. So this need to be known. Okay. Now, as for this there's 4-layer models. This is just a model for human, so that we know which one to handle and what do you handle, what you get, because this is a causal system world. There's a cause and effect. Nothing come out from blue. Okay, so if you want to handle your physical body, you handle your physical body. You want to handle your mind, you handle your mind. You want to handle your breathing, you handle your breathing. Okay, So that is the model, a very simple model, but it's really a dominant model for that. So we can handle the key point, okay, the key of it, so that we can do something, right? This thing, even though they are all is one, okay, because this, even though we model is 4 layer, but it's actually one, okay, like me, my body, my mind, my breathing, all is one, you know. And however, when we want to handle it, there's a sequence. If we handle the sequence wrong, then we got problem again. So for example, the first of handling is the physical body, and then the mind, and then the breathing, and then the energy, the chi, the circulations, the neuron layer here. Okay, for example, if we sit in pain here, there's no way we can calm our mind. However, if our body is no longer in pain, then we can talk about mind. Now, if our mind is in this hurry thing, rush thing, there's no way we can control the breathing. We cannot handle the breathing because the mind just don't settle. Okay, and if the breathing do not settle into its state, one of the state, it will not be able to handle the directly handle the prana or the chi or the energy neural layer. This is known for 1,000 years, or at least 1,000 years on this from the China big data. Okay, so another example is that you can see people say, oh, you want to have a mindfulness meditation, go and now counting your breath. Well, no sir, you got a problem. If your physical body is not settled or calm down, how are you going to supposed to count your breath? Because if your physical body is not calm down, your mind is not going to calm down. If you're in the pain, your mind cannot calm down. And then how is going to handle this breathing? That's why a lot of people get suffocated. We say, well, pay attention to your breathing. Now you get a problem. Because your nature, the characteristic of body simply cannot do it. And then there's even worse coming in and say, oh, you know, pay attention to your nose tree here. Okay? And pay attention and count your breathing. Well, if you get into the big data in the 1,000 years of China, it is known by the fact that anybody with a high blood pressure, if they pay attention to their nose strip, they have a heavy head and they can raise their blood pressure. Okay. So that is the fourth layer. So one need to know what to do with this. Okay, it is not just like effortless or you believe so, or meditation is not about mind. It's not about I accept everything and everything will go fine. No, it is not. Okay. So I want to show you here that this map, this calmness and awareness map, it actually can be quantized today. Okay. Again, if we don't quantize it, we have no idea what is going on, and we can't repeat it. We can't even communicate. Okay, and we don't know where we are. So we need to quantize it, and in fact we can quantize it. This is what I want to share with you. Right now, if you look at this, okay, we can quantize the calmness here. The first, this is calmness 1, calmness 0. This is calmness 0. This is calmness 1, calmness 2, level 2, minus 1, minus 2, and then this can map into the stress level, the percentage of stress. So at level and at the calmness 0, the stress level is 50%. -1, calmness, the stress level is 75%. -2 is 100%. So level 1 in the calmness is 25% stress, and level 2 is 0%. So all this stress, actually, as the other day I show you guys that on, you know, in everybody's watch, the smartwatch or handband, this thing, or app, you can have those measurement, and either those measurement is based on HRV, heart rate variations, okay, heart rate variations, or they based on the skin response, okay, the galvanic skin response base, okay. So you can use that that stress level, okay. Actually, you can measure it, okay, and because of that, you can actually map the where you are, okay. You can kind of know where you are, you can map it where you are, and that's what I call the location mapping. So you know exactly where you are here at any time of the day, because you can just go use the wearable device or the app to measure your stress level, and you know in where in the calmness map you are, okay. And so this is quantization. So is it really useful? Well, let me show you this. Okay, so this is the reality. Okay. So there's an app here, the apps here. Okay, in the smartphone, you have this apps, a lot of apps which can show you the stress level, the stress level. People can show you the stress level, okay, and the energy level, okay. So say before meditation, okay, before meditations, like in this case, you have high stress level, okay, and the energy is under saving. And then after meditations, you can see that the stress level now become the optimal, and then the energy level becomes surplus. So if you look at this thing, if you look at this thing, you divide that into 100%, then this is like say 33% level of stress, okay. And over here you can see that this is over 66% of stress, and this is from friends around the world, okay. So by knowing how to handle that 4 layers, okay, the physical and so forth properly, this is only a few minutes of meditations, okay. So here is saying that it is 5 minutes, okay. So you turn from in this case is 66% around to 33%, and then your energy is from saving, okay, this much energy you get into here, okay. So this can be done with different people, okay. This is another case, okay, where the person have at the stress level, harmful level, okay, probably it is if you look at that, probably it's like a 75% level, okay, and this is energy is low, okay. This is the deflect level. Then again the same with you need to know which meditations prescribed to this person, and then it dropped, you see, to the say around 66% level, and then the energy gain more, Okay, so now this is become shortage. So from deficit become shortage in the energy, and from harmful stress now become high stress. Now, so one can actually quantize that thing. One know exactly, is this meditation proper? Is it suitable? And as what I mentioned, that you don't have one size fit all meditations. Okay, that's why we need to know the 4-layer models. What are you handling? And then you need to know the mind model. Okay, are you going to handle with your thinking or imagination, or which function? Okay, now, so again, this mind model, this awareness and the, what do you call it, the calmness and awareness map. Actually, this is a combination of 4 maps. Okay, a combination of 4. You can split it into 4 actually. So you have a physical one, you have a mind, and you have the breathing. It is sequentially, meaning that you can, instead of using one map, you know, to imply that it is all the 4 layers, you can do 1 layer per map, so that you know, for example, or in physical layer, where am I? In mind, where am I? We can map it, and then we can trace our progress, and we can know, is this solution is working or not? Okay, so like I show you just now on the APP, you know, people can go, okay, now I'm going to measure before meditation, what do I have? And then after meditation, what do I have? Okay, how much I reduce, and so forth, so forth. So it's being quantized, it can be scientifically handling, okay? And we can map here. We can map here according to that, and then look at our progress every day. Does it do the job or it doesn't do the job? Okay, now, so this is very important. Now, without this, now what are we going to do? Okay, it's just a mess. Now, let me share with you. Okay, let me share with you with the quantizations that how the meditation works. Okay, if we quantize it, usual people, us human, normal white people, okay, working people, or middle class working people, okay, we actually, if we check our stress level, is bound between 0% to 100%, okay, and this is a normal people, and that because of the characteristics of the 4-layer model, which is real, okay, which is the forward characteristics, there are actually a sequence on how we can work or handle on the 4-layer. So in other words, whoever is on the say 0 to -1 stress to 1 stress, one need to work with the physical layers, okay, and only if one have surpassed the calmness of 1, meaning that the stress going under 25%, one can deal with the mind, and when one get close to 2 or 0% stress, one can work with the breathing layer. And in order to work with the chi or prana, one need to have much more than 2 of the calmness. Okay? So on another side is, if one is under -1 or more than 75%, then one better don't do meditation, because one need to do massage or acupuncture or anything to settle one down. If one get more than -2, then one need medications. Okay, so this is known. One will not, what is not supposed to say that, okay, if I'm in pain here, say for example, if I'm over here and then I suddenly say, well, I want to train with energy prana, you cannot jump from here to here because your body is not calm enough to do it. Your physical body is not calm enough to do it, meaning your mind layer is not calm enough to do it, your breathing layer is not calm enough to do it. So if you want to go jump right away into the prana or the chakra or anything, then what's going to happen. It's going to create a mess. Okay. However, if you follow this, it is repeatable. Like yesterday I'm here, I can get up to here, then I can do physical, and a few days I can get into this physical, then I can come up to continue on the mind, and then I might be fall back and forth. Okay. And that's how you can keep the progress. And so another thing is that, so what if I get argument, a quarrel with my wife, or I'm gonna go into here, and so at that point, I don't want to go to mind and breathing. I'm going to work with my physical, walk out instead of keeping thinking. The more you think, the more you piss off. Okay, and then you get big blow up. So you want to drop that. Okay, so this is real. Okay, this is a sequential and this is a progressive of meditation handling. And again, there is no one size fit all. You cannot say, well, I'm gonna sit down there and I just want to do the counting breath or scan my body. Okay, you cannot do that. And for example, if you get into physical pain, okay, which is with the calmness of -1 and -2, and then you have the stress of 75% and 100%. Well, forget about it. You need to deal with your physical first, okay? And you might even need medications, okay, because it's so pain, okay? If you have a headache, which will cause the stress level of say 85%, take say aspirin and go to have a rest, because you cannot do meditation. If you go meditation, you're going to screw everything there and you're going to brute force thing, okay? And beside you cannot calm everything down anyway, okay? So that is the issue, okay? That we need to understand. Otherwise, you're not going to get result. You do not get repeatability, okay? And again, meditation is not about you think. You can think as you want. If you have a headache, you have a headache. You need an aspirin, you need an aspirin, okay? Now, so that is the situations, okay? Now, and that is handling the 4 layer, like the physical, the mind, okay? In general, you do that, okay? You're handling that way. Now, however, there are cases that say you are here in the 0, you want to do meditate, but the more you meditate, the more you get into the stress go higher, like we can measure the stress higher. Well, that happened, okay? That happened. And in general, why that happened is usually if one believe in certain thing, or one try to brute force certain thing, then one will get into that state. Like the more you meditate, the more you feel really stressed. For example, if you want to control, okay, thing, and you go meditate, when you sit down there, because meditate supposed to let go of control, but you do the reverse. You sit down there, you try to control everything, and you want to control everything, okay? And you suddenly think, well, I expect this to happen, that happen, blah 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 blah. You end up, you're going to control your physical body element, And that's going to get stressed out because the more you want to control it, you put more intensity in your attention, because when your body doesn't work that way, you want it to be more, you want the body go one way, you want to go the other way, then you track, okay? So that is refer to this as the monkey mind, or looping between within the thinking with a certain belief or a certain habitual in the thinking, okay? And that's what we call monkey mind, okay? Now, when one get into the situations, one need to actually have an insight of the issue. Without the insight of the issue, one will never be able to do meditations. For example, people who do multiplexing, okay, like our engineer in the Silicon Valley and all the IT job in around the world, okay, get into this habit of somehow certain people believe, I can multiplex so many things at the same time. Well, the fact is there's problem, because when you want to multiplex between two subjects, you have to change from one thinking to the other thinking. There's a delay time there, and you cannot switch like that, okay? And then you cannot have 100 things happen at the same time, okay? It's just like this iPad. You say, well, you know, I want to have a parallel processing, okay? I have a parallel 5 programs at the same time. So the CPU there is sharing, time sharing, and all those kind of things. Human doesn't work that way, okay? This one, you have the memory, and then when you do this one job, and then the memory is there, and then you go to the other job, and then the memory is there, then you can switch back and forth and parallel processing and so forth. But human don't do that. Human, if you go from one thinking to the other thinking, then you have to almost ramping up, okay? And then when you do one thing, you do A, and then you switch to B, and you ramping up to B, and then you come back to A, you ramping up A, and then if you want both to happen at the same time, now you're stuck. So when you're sitting in meditation, you say, you know what? Oh, I wonder, why is my mind don't come down? Why is my leg is pain? Why is my chakra, blah, 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 blah? Well, now you're stuck. So what you need to do, you need to have an insight, get a teacher to tell you, hey, you do multitasking there, drop that, okay? Now I want you to start from the physical, okay? Just do the physical, don't care anything, do one thing at a time. That's what it means by living in the moment, okay? So as in this book, that is, I think, page 110 or something like that, yeah. That's living in the moment. And then there's explanations on the problem in the mind element, the problem in the mind element. So there's all kinds of problem there. So one need to have this insight dissolve before you can go meditate. Now develop from the physical, and then mind, and then breathing up. Without that, it just go down there, and then it just go reverse again, and so forth, okay? So that is what really happened. That's why a lot of meditation today, which is one size fit all, doesn't work, okay? And another thing which is really deadly is this. People don't go through this calmness 1, calmness 2, and then going to mindfulness, okay? You have to go calm enough to mindfulness, okay, and work with the chakra, everything. So what happens is that people stay in here as a normal people, okay, between calmness -1 and 1, and then they start to get philosophy. I think, I believe, I enlightenment, I awaken, and all hearsay and all Zen and everything. They get into some state, okay. They believe, they think. They never go through this to transform their 4-layer elements. They get from here, straight jump to here. Now you're stuck. Now you're stuck in hallucinations, okay? And then you suddenly say, well, I want to see light. I want to have the sensation of qi, this heat coming out. You know what is that like? If you want to do meditation that way, you might as well go buy your, get $10, get a ticket into the theater, watching the sex and violence movie, and see how your body react with this heat and all this kind of stuff, because your body chemistry change when your mind getting distracted by all kinds of stimulus. Okay, so when people talk about Zen, you don't have to cultivate. You know Zen? Yes, I know Zen. We don't both know Zen. What the heck are you talking about? Okay, because if you never go through this, calmness 1, 2, 3. And then get the mindfulness, and then get to the jhana state. Jhana, yeah. Okay, so if you want to the Zen enlightenment, you know what you need to what it has to do? The Buddha teaching is you need to get into the calmness state, cultivate, develop calmness, enough calmness. You get to the jhana state, and then at this state, okay, you start study or investigating the satipatthana, which is impermanence, and then you get rebirth. Okay, so it's not Zen from here. You stay here, and then you think, well, I'm enlightenment. Okay, so there is this. Okay, you stay here without even have the jhana and everything, nobody, transformation, everything, do not know, understand the state of the mind, body, everything, just go, you say, well, I have already enlightenment. And then you start to have your own philosophy. Okay, well, it doesn't work. So you look at everybody in this, all this, as in Buddhism, the Buddha said this is the era of the debate and quarrel and argue. That's what it is. And the Buddha said the time, there's one era about 500 years after he passed away, there's the era of samadhi. Everybody settled down. Okay, so they know the transformation body. They don't quarrel like today. Today everybody is guru. But you look at them, if you really have a transformational body, like I showed you just now using the HRV based stress test, you put it down there. You say, well, I want to get into the stress level 25. Okay, sorry, stress 25% stress level. Even now I know I'm 75, I want to get into the 25% stress level. From 75 to 25, you can do it. If you really have it, develop. If you don't, you cannot do it. Okay? Not to mention, if you want to go this far. Not to mention, if you want to go to the breathing, to the qi, to the jhana, and all this thing. The mindfulness. How can you get mindfulness if you do not come enough past the second thing? Okay, meaning that you have zero stress. Only that you can have the mindfulness. Beyond that, you can have mindfulness, because instead of going to if we don't get into the zero stress state, something still bothering us, distract us. How are we going to be mindfulness? Well, if you really mindfulness, you get really mindfulness that you are not mindfulness yet, because something is distracting. Okay? So this is how the entire thing is supposed to work. So it be able to serve the three market. Okay? I make it so realistic. People think, well, I might want to thinking about open up this market and so forth. Well, let's make it realistic so that everybody can make use of it. Okay? So it satisfied in the Silicon Valley way, saying that it address and satisfy the customer's need 10 times more than what the present solution have. Only that people will buy into that, right? You want to have that type of system. And then only that the meditation is meaningful. So even if you want to use it for de-stress, or you want to use it for the health, and you want to use it for the spiritual, you need this basic. Because for example, if you want to practice qigong, which is actually related your breathing and energy, everything, if you don't go to this level, how are you going to supposed to develop any qigong? Can you just being here or even here and then somebody give you a certificate of qigong because you mimic some posture that you become a qigong master? Well, as what I said, go get the HRV or GSR stress meter, test it and see where you are. And then see, can you change that? Make it improve, make de-stress yourself until zero stress. If one cannot even get there, forget about this all qigong blah blah blah. It will not happen, because this is human body. There is a law of nature there. There's biomechanics law. There are all kinds of law we need to accord to obey. Just nature. Okay. So that is how it is. And then now, like for example, let's talk about this. Okay, like the last thing I want to share with you guys is this. People talk about Zen, right? Zen. And everybody like to talk about Zen. Okay, you can see everybody, there's so many guru, grandmaster for past 50, 70 years saying about Zen. And then for example, there is a Song of Enlightenment from Tang Dynasty. Okay, Song of Enlightenment. It said that walking is Zen, sitting is Zen, speaking or silent, active or quiet, the essence is at peace. Okay, in Chinese it says 行也禅，坐也禅，动静体默，动静以默，体安然。Okay, there's the Zen, the writing, the Song of Enlightenment. So how to do it? How to do it? Okay, so are we going to go there doing this? Are we going to doing this? Stay here at negative calmness and keeping debate, whatever we think is here, we believe is here, and then even get emotion, get our stress level up to 100% and lose our calmness from -1 to -2 because we debate and get angry. Okay, or how to do it? Well, let me share with you how to do it. Okay, how to do it in this level, in the physical level. Okay, so that anybody can do it in the between -1 to calmness 1 level. Okay, so you know how simple to do it? Let me show you how to do it. Okay, and this is accord to the chapter 4 and chapter 7, and we want to deal with only what? We want to deal with only physical, because if we do not deal with physical, we don't know whatever above. Okay, and today we all are just in physical layer, right? Now, this is how you do it. Okay, now it is said walking is Zen, sitting is Zen, speaking or silent, active or quiet, the essence is at peace. Okay, so let's do the Zen. Okay, manifest it or realize it with the physical layer, because remember, physical layer actually is just a model. Actually, human, the 4 layer is one, all is one. It's just like we cannot just go to the mind and so forth. We need to handle the physical. So if you can handle the physical, you will have a sense, a clue. At least you can handle that that stress meter. Okay, so how to do that? How to do this? Walking is Zen, sitting is Zen, speaking or silent, active or quiet, the essence is at peace. Very simple. Do it now. After this, after you heard what I'm saying here, go do it and see what happened, and then you can map yourself. And then you can map yourself where you are. If you can have the HRV stress base stress meter, okay, in the apps, and everybody have a cell phone now today, you can measure that and then you can see. Okay, now, and then you know where you are and you progress or not. So for the statics, okay, it's based on this book. Okay, it's more details in here. The static, number one, I want you to do that under seating. How is Zen in seating? Zen in seating, number one, is you pay attention to your butt and the thigh area. Your butt and the thigh area. Okay, you pay attention, aware of that. The next thing you want to do is you adjust the weight in the area so that it distributes out evenly. Okay. So number one is we deal with this physical, and everybody know about the butt and the thigh area and the weight there, because you're going to sit on that in the chair, right? So you want to evenly distribute the weight, your body weight in that area. Distribute it instead of create hot spot. If you sit like this or sit like that, certain places getting tense up. You distribute evenly the weight. Okay, so now you handle your physical layer in a very simple way. The second, you go to the shoulder blade, shoulder and neck area. That is what I call the stress center. The same, you doing what? You distribute the weight, you adjust your body so you distribute the weight evenly. Okay? So that there's no hot spot like you just let it evenly rest on your chair. Okay? Now, the third thing is you go to your lower back. Make sure that you have a well cushioned so that you can rest your lower back, your weight is spread evenly. Just do that when you sit and see whether you're at peace or not. Just do that, okay? If you go to sleep, you can do that in the bed too, okay? So that is actually the implementations or the realizations of walking is Zen, sitting is Zen. Sitting is Zen. If you sit down there with all these weight distributions evenly, you will feel for sure lightweight, light and calmer, because your body do not cry out certain place is tense and you try to adjust it and so forth. And sometimes we even sit like we work in the computer. Sometimes we tap computer like become a turtle, like we want to get into the computer screen. Okay, we become like that and we don't aware of it. Okay, so in the morning we work in computer this way. Okay, and at 3 o'clock it's like this. At 7 o'clock it's like that. Okay, those start already. Okay, now we're aware of that. We make the weight distributions even. That's simple. That's Zen. That is the Zen for the sitting, for the static. Okay. Now, when you are walking, okay, pay attention when you are walking. Pay attention. You move your torso, synchronize with your feet. Most people don't do that. Most people do what? They step out with their feet, and then they bang their knee. And then they drag their torso with their feet and their knee. Go try and see, okay? So if you just, when you're walking, you just pay attention to your torso, aware of it, and then you say, well, when I walk, my torso and my leg, you synchronize that together. See how lightweight it becomes, okay? So that is what Zen implementations in the physical layer. And of course there's advanced layer, okay? But we are not there. What good is what is talking about, or you guess and my guess. Your 5 cents and my 5 cents doesn't worth anything. But at least now you go try it, what I'm saying, when you're sitting and when you're walking and you're laying down, and see how peaceful it get compared with before you do that. That is Zen. Okay? And physical body actually with the other layer is actually one. The only things that we are not that develop in the calmness and the awareness to be able to directly handle the higher layers And just to prove to you, you know, like the people who like this, the sutra, the Heart Sutra, it said what? Form is empty. Form is not different than emptiness. Emptiness is not different than form. If you can handle, settle your physical body, which is the form, that means you settle the emptiness too. Okay? It's just coin with two faces. Another thing is, if we are not Buddhas, we do the same thing when we go do prayer. Okay, we sit down there, have the butts and the thigh weight, your full body weight evenly spread out, so that means you sit properly. And then you relax your, you know, your shoulder. You don't want to be like the turtle. And then you get your spine, your lower back support, and then you do a prayer. See how it comes down. Even when you walk, if your torso and your feet go synchronize well together, you can lightweight, and then you can pray, do prayer walking. So that is what it means by walking is Zen, sitting is Zen, speaking or silent, active or quiet. The essence is at peace. You can do it, but don't think about, you know, like far away. Okay, we can do it here. We can do it in this area. And it's good enough, because if we do this and tomorrow we might be able to do this, and before we know it, we can do it here. But if we keeping sitting here talking philosophy and all this thing, hallucinations here, it's gonna stuck here and even get here. What good is that? Okay, so this is what I'd like to share with you today. Okay, this is in the chapter 1. We didn't even go into the going into the calmness meditations and the insight meditation yet. But I go through the chapter 1, the tools, and hopefully that is clear for you. Okay, and so we can go through this one by one. And chapter 8 is for the practical meditations. Okay, and then chapter 9 is about using the technology, okay, meaning that you can have your measurements of your brainwave, your breathing, and then even like your blood glucose. Well, this is important, okay, because you got to be scientific. Okay, we just cannot say, oh yeah, you know, I do this, my blood pressure was going down. Wait a minute, do you do it properly? Is that, you know, so there's a question: is that solution or that qigong solve your problem, fit to your problem, is the solutions for your problem? And even if it is, do we do it properly? So there's two levels of question there, and that's why all this instrument is good to help us there. Okay, and again, with the more calmness we develop, more awareness, if we go study, say, Buddhism, Satipatthana, we can Satipatthana is just like we investigate on the impermanent. When we have calmness, awareness, we investigate on the impermanent. So we see the world is impermanent. There's no me, because everything changes. Okay, so those are things. So there's advanced stuff, or, you know, you can do different stuff, you know. But what I'm talking here on this book is just the basic this thing. If we do not understand this, we got a problem. Okay, so you might question me, so why do I speak this way and talk this way? And actually there's some friend asked me, so over here I say that I'm a T1D. Under the author here, I'm a T1D, type 1 diabetics. Wow, this is type 1 diabetics. So living in this type of life, well, I was born in Indonesia, right? And this is Silicon Valley, and it is a small village in Indonesia, and then I got this type 1 diabetic. Until today I'm in the Silicon Valley, and I go through everything I can understand, get to study from different teachers and read all this ancient scripture just to survive. That's why I quantize this thing, because so many times we see people is so helpless and we cannot help them. Okay, like me, sometimes I have to wake up a few times a night, check my blood sugar, and that is, if you look at the type 1 diabetic mommy, like for the kids, you see the mother, you know, how great they are. Since baby, they have to come, awake a few times every night to check their baby's blood sugar. Make sure that it is okay. Too low will kill you. Too high, you get into dangerous situations. Okay, so that's why I get into this. Okay, I want to get into this to get into the really realistic, so everybody benefit. Okay, you cannot just selling meditations as I believe, I think. Can you get anywhere? So this is to share with you today, and the last chapter of the book, I'm talking about compassionate. I'm talking about compassionate here. Compassion. And then here I put the vow of the medicine Buddha here. For the reason of this, if we are not diabetic type 1, we do not know how tough that life is. There are many times, even though I live in Silicon Valley, I consider me lucky that I have a good wife, and then who support me. I have many friends who support me. I look at the people, you know, the homeless who stand under the, like now it's summer, under the hot sun just to ask for $5. I can be like that too. No disregard of how good I'm in design. Okay, this type 1 diabetic, if it hits you, if you don't have the proper care and everything, you're over. You can be homeless. It can be me. Okay? So I think we human need to help each other, and there's compassion, and that's not something AI can understand. But we human, we go through that. We understand other people's problem. So this is for you today. And if you have any question, just message me, but make sure that it is a technical question, or not debating spiritual debating thing. Something really we can help people, some really questions that problem that, I'm an engineer. My job, my mission is to solve problem, okay? And then we can help people, okay? So this is for you.